Hi, I'm Rhonda, Director of Groundwork Arts. Today we get to meet artist Anja Broenink, check out her work, and get a sneak peek behind the scenes. We are in the studio today with Anja. Super happy to be here to check out her work.
Welcome in my studio.
Thank you. Can you tell us a little bit about your work?
I make clothing. I use a lot of fabrics, a mixture of printed fabrics or recycled t-shirts. So this is the blue bin. So here are all blue t-shirts. Boring ones, fun ones. This is the t-shirts I made the dress from. So it's front is here, this is the back. I cut the prints of the t-shirts in pieces, so they're unrecognizable. And I just put it all in little squares and sew it together. So this is actually a t-shirt upside down, cut open, and these are the sleeves. Okay, here are the arms. I choose what color thread I'm gonna sew it in because all the seams are in the outside, so it is important. That's why I have all these color threads at the wall there. I'm born in Holland, which is a country on the other side of the world. In Holland we actually had farmers, kind of a farmer's market, but they sold fabric there. So it was outside on the street, and my mom took me. And it was pretty boring at the time, but I learned so much of fabrics, women buying fabric, feeling of fabric. Here are my fabrics. I like all prints, and I'm always intrigued by fabrics with ugly prints. The uglier the better, because when it's ugly and then you cut it and then you put something else against it, it's beautiful. This was my very first piece that I made. So I found in the fabric store this wool. It's actually silk with wool. And I thought it was amazing and gorgeous. I made a sweater and then I washed it, and of course it shrunk. So it is a little bit felted here, and then you get these lines. And I thought, wow, that's actually pretty cool. I'm gonna do that. I wanted to go to art school all my life, so I finally went to art school. And I choose to study fashion, and I choose fashion because I moved so much, and I actually lived really small, in a small place, and clothing you can wear and you can take with you. In here
I see some pastel.
Yes, I use pastel to, for the little details. Mm-hmm. And I actually use a lot of pastel, and then I go with water over it again. Okay.
I'm absolutely floored by knowing that you started with watercolor and then that informed some of the shapes of your designs. Which makes me super teary-eyed. These things that we don't know what your process is, and maybe you aren't totally thinking about it when you're describing how you're working, but I'm like, wow, that's incredible.
You just do it. So a pattern is a piece of paper, and I use strong paper. I make the little squares so I can cut out the little squares on all kind of different fabrics, so they're all the same size. And then I have the side panels. I have sleeves here if I want to make sleeves. And this is the back. So this is kind of what is important for me. So that I have this one, I cut the fabric. I know how to cut all these. And then I can sew it together.
Wow.
You see?
Look at those colors.
Shibori is a dyeing technique that comes from out of Japan. And the best way to compare it with anything which you know or what we know is tie-dye. Mm-hmm. But shibori is more controlled. So this was white fabric. What I do is I fold the fabric in a certain way, and then I put a piece of wood here. So I put one here, I put one here, and then I clamp this all together with a big old clamp. And then I put this in the dye bath, and then it comes out, and then what is under here is not dyed because it is clamped, so the dye could not come here under, you know, that's why this is white. Mm-hmm. And this is all dyed. And then I combined that with patterns that we have already. You see?
Your technique completely transformed that piece of fabric. I want to thank you, Anja, for having us in your space today and sharing your process, your materials and patterns and inspirations. I'm really grateful, and I'm sure the kids are really going to enjoy learning about your work.
Thank you so much for being here. It was such a pleasure to having you, and I was really, really glad to show everything what I'm doing.